All right, speed round. Have you ladies eaten fugu and or stonefish?
No.
I have. We're going to insert the photo. Last time I was in Japan, my manager, I'm calling them out. One of our JP managers was like, we should order this. And I said no. And he was like, it's for the picture. It's for the Instagram. I have to say, kind of tasteless. Doesn't taste very good.
Really?
It just, I love slimy white fish. It had no taste.
Oh.
That being said, when it was fried, it tasted like chicken.
Oh, really? That doesn't sound so
There's
bad.
so much meat that when you fry it, just tastes like chicken.
Oh, but what? So it's not fishy at all?
No.
Wow.
Would you try puffer fish?
If it were fried, maybe.
Honestly, like there's nothing. You could try it if you want to. There's nothing with it. All right. Next question. What's your favorite maid cafes to go to other than the big two for foreigners, aka At Home and Maid Dreaming?
Okay, my first one is this is hard. Okay,
You want to come? Okay.
I'm gonna say one because if you're looking for a not typical maid cafe experience, if you're looking for something that's very chill, very like, okay, this just feels like a cafe. They don't even have a table charge. It's a cafe, but they wear maid outfits. Go to Jam Akihabara, JAM Jam Akihabara. They are always doing like collaborations with visual novels or
Is that the place? You didn't bring me in. Yeah, that's the place you brought me to.
yeah. Where we were just like,
yeah, it's just like a cafe.
it's super
It was
chill.
really nice.
It's so nice. Super duper recommend it.
And you can stay for a long time.
Yeah. People go there and they just set up shop and work. It's awesome.
Yep.
Can I? don't.
We can go back to
We'll come
it.
back. Yeah. Next one.
Okay. Have you been to Sapporo's Yuki Matsuri before? It seems exciting with the ice sculptures, but the cold must be harsh. Also, Hokkaido in general as a talking point.
I've never been to Hokkaido.
I have never been to Hokkaido. I would love to go one day. I'm a huge seafood lover, and I know the seafood there is really good between November to like February. Also, I love Azumanga Daioh, and in it, Chio-chan talked about Matsukasa beef and Hokkaido snow crab, and I have to have both.
my God,
Okinawa
that's
is
so
another place
funny.
I would really love to visit, right?
I went to.
But I just haven't had the chance.
I think now that I've been to Antarctica, maybe I'm more prepared for the Yuki Matsuri.
Ooh,
But before,
I would love to go.
Before, I never would have stepped foot during it. You can't catch me in the cold.
Really?
Yeah, my tail, I was gonna say, like my ghost tail will freeze. Essentially, like.
You've been to Antarctica now. You're fine.
Well, maybe now we'll be fine. We'll see.
What's the biggest culture shock for the two of you, respectively? Doesn't have to be the same thing, of course.
I don't know. I think it's hard for me to say because I've gone so many times at this point that I can't remember what the first culture shock thing that I had was.
I have one if you want to think
Yeah,
about
go ahead.
yours. My main one, I already said, it's the fact that everything is truly in Japanese, which doesn't sound as surprising, but there's just no English in most spaces. And everything is so tall and so narrow that you can sometimes be on a street and there is going to be 80 restaurants. And you just are so overwhelmed because there's lights everywhere, there's photos, there's everything. It's just so overwhelming.
Yes.
And another big culture shock is everybody is so well dressed, so neat. Everybody's always in heels.
Yeah.
Everyone's hair is always looking good. Even if you kind of want to be like, I'll just wear sweats today. If you kind of feel like, okay, no, I have to do my makeup. I have to look cute. I have to do my hair every time.
Yeah, if you like before, I never cared so much about that kind of stuff. But then Japan changed me. I threw away my entire wardrobe. I was just like, it's time to get serious about how I look because of Japan. Like it really, like I don't know. You feel like, especially because like as a foreigner, I wanted them to judge me in a good way. Like if I'm a foreigner and I look kind of like not dressed up and not looking nice, like I didn't want them to think like, oh, foreigners don't look good. Look at her. She looks so slobby. Like I wanted to.
We've actually talked about this before, where it's like I always act even better. Like, for example, if I'm going there when everyone's wearing masks and I see some Japanese people not wearing it, I'll still wear mine because I don't want anybody to be like, what a stupid foreigner not respecting
I feel
the
like
rules.
I have to
Even if
act-
others aren't respecting, I feel like I have to act better.
Yeah. I think kind of going back to the yes, the clothes thing was a huge culture shock for me. Yeah.
Yeah.
The other thing is the noise, like going into Don Quixote for the first time.
Oh my God.
It is so crowded. It is so small. Like actually just going into a lot of like small Japanese stores like that, or not, I mean, I don't mean like small as in donkey small, but like it is so narrow. It is so loud. There's advertisements blasting from every which way. There's colors everywhere. It is like there's a store called Village Vanguard that they actually call the like urusai honya. It's like the annoying bookstore because it's so loud and busy and everything.
Oh my God.
Yeah, just that kind of like, you know, when you're just like not expecting the noise everywhere, it is a big culture shock. Yeah.
What time of year would you suggest for a first trip?
Ooh. I would say autumn. Because I think spring, you might have allergies that you might not know about because I remember one time I went in spring and I discovered allergies that I never knew that I had. And like, I was so sick for like a week.
And good luck going to the hospital and talking about that.
Right. Well,
over there.
there are actually a lot of good doctors that will like, and it's inexpensive. I didn't have insurance. And there are doctors that will speak English, but obviously you don't want to be sick for that amount of time.
And if you are going in spring and it is the sakura or the cherry blossom season, it can get really expensive.
Yes.
Everything will be booked. Everybody goes during that time. Super expensive.
Exactly. So, and then there's also a lot more people that are coming. So, you know, spring sounds nice ideally, but it is going to be more crowded. It's going to be stuff like that. That's why I think autumn, you get that nice cool weather, but a little bit less of the crowds and things like that.
I'm going to talk about the other two seasons then. So for summer, I've never been in the summer, but I have had friends who went in August and they said it was so humid, so wet. I know typically people have summers off, but maybe if you want to come in the summer, try to maybe come closer to maybe the start of June or like the end of May or something. Maybe not. No,
it's all
because at the end of August, it's also hot. Really. I just heard in end of August, like, well, we're gonna be there in June, so we'll know.
Yep, you're going to get the thick of it.
Personally, into the thick of it. Personally, when I went in February the first time, when I stayed at people's houses or Airbnbs, sometimes I felt it was too cold. Because the problem in Japan is like a lot of the houses don't have the same insulation as you do in places that are very cold. So even though it's not that cold in Japan, I would be very cold. But this was 10 years ago. Nowadays, I still really like coming at the end of February. I think end of February, beginning March is a really nice time where it's still a little crisp outside. So you can kind of layer your clothes. It looks good. But then the sun comes out and it's really nice. A lot less people. Not as expensive for the hotels and things like that.
Yeah.
But again, you kind of have to go with your schedule. If you can only come in August, good luck.
Also, if there's something you want to do, you know, like if you're just like, I really want to go to a summer festival, obviously you can only do that in summer. Like you kind of got to figure out what kind of event you want to do. Like I think Halloween in Japan is very fun only because idols put on the best Halloween like idol shows. So for me, that's like a prime time. But obviously that's, you know, some people are wanting to go for other reasons or, you know, Christmas is always going to be very expensive. New Year's is going to be super duper expensive. Like, so if you can afford it and if you want to do it, go for it, you know, go try. It's always fun to try something like that at least once.
How do I survive in Japan without knowing Japanese? Are there any important phrases to know?
We kind of talked about that earlier, but as for phrases,
I can start.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I didn't realize I interrupted
No.
you.
Go ahead.
So I always recommend either write it on your phone or in a book. You need your basics. You need to rehearse what you're saying at the konbini, which is like the gross, not the grocery, at the store. You need to learn what you're going to say. You need to learn. Nowadays with phones, it's really easy. What I'll do before coming to a restaurant, I just Google, do you have space for one person? Do you have an English menu? Sorry, I don't speak Japanese very well.
Yeah.
Just things like that. Just memorize them or write them down in a book. The problem with not writing them down and memorizing them. So my problem lately, what I started doing is I just started Googling it, saying it, and then I forget about it.
Yeah.
But if you actually force yourself to remember a few of these phrases, which way is this? How do I find this? But again, now that we have SIM cards, eSIM cards, and portable Wi-Fi. It's way easier. I wouldn't worry about it too much.
I think two important phrases could be "daijoubu desu" and
It's okay.
"onegai shimasu." So
Please.
yeah, so it's kind of just like, if someone asks you for something and you're just like, "daijoubu desu." Oh, I'm okay, I'm good. If someone asks you something, onegai shimasu, like, oh yes, please do it for me. Yes, please do this. Like those like can get you so many.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
if someone asks, like, I don't know, do you want this in a bag? Onegai shimasu. Super, super duper useful phrase.
Yeah, I think I use daijoubu all the time.
Yeah.
It's so good. It's like daijoubu. If you make a mistake and somebody says daijoubu, you're like, hi.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's it's polite. So both words are polite. So yeah.
We've also gotten a lot of questions that I feel are super personal. Like, for example, people were saying how much money to bring. Again, calculate what you want to do. Some people, maybe they want to stay, $15, $20 a night at a hostel. Somebody else wants to stay at the Park Hyatt, which was like the movie Lost in Translation, right?
Really?
Yeah. Are you going to be taking Ubers or using trains?
Yeah.
Are you going to be eating at really expensive restaurants? That being said, in Japan, in Tokyo, food is so good. You do not need to go to the most expensive
No,
restaurants.
you really don't. And it's inexpensive. So many places, it's like very affordable to eat, I would say.
Also for shopping, I would say there's Book Off, Animate. A lot of places have secondhand. Even the Book Offs and the Animates have secondhand stuff. You do not need to buy new stuff there all the time. There's secondhand clothes, which are really good. Basically, try to look through those as well. There's Pokemon centers, collaboration cafes, maid cafes, hedgehog cafes, any kind of cafe you ever dreamed of in your life. It exists.
Con cafes are very
Japan.
expensive though. So if you plan on doing a lot of those, the concept cafes,
they're
quite expensive. Maid cafes, expensive. Like hedgehog cafes.
But it's the experience,
yeah, of
right?
course, it's the experience. But just take that into consideration for your budgeting.
You wrote this down and it was really interesting about allergies. So we got a lot of questions about allergies and medication. And again, we really recommend that you do your own research with other YouTube channels because we both don't really have many allergies. We don't take much medication. But if somebody else had this experience, you might find it very helpful.
Yeah.
Maybe you can look up what medicine are you allowed to bring.
Yeah, I wrote that down
Right?
because the first time I went to Japan, I was on a certain medicine and I wasn't sure if I was allowed to bring it. It's not something that I think a lot of maybe it kind of slips your mind because of course if you take something every day like you could or once a week or whatever whenever you have to take it even if it's like my migraine medicine I had to make sure I could bring that stuff like that so if it's something that you can get very easily or you take all the time and you're just like oh yeah I need this but just be sure to research what kind of medicines you're allowed to bring into the country because you don't want to get in trouble and get deported and on a blacklist.
Same thing with your diet, right? We're not vegan and we're not vegetarian, but if you are vegan, for example, I would sincerely recommend that you maybe look up vegan YouTubers who go to Japan and they'll have like, what do I eat in Japan? Vegan edition. What restaurants to go to in Japan? Vegan edition. Maybe you don't eat seafood. And unfortunately, a lot of places might have seafood broth or seafood flavoring or things like that. If you have a shellfish allergy, just be really mindful for that kind of stuff. Again, I think when you have this kind of allergies in your life, it's unfortunately on you. And a lot of restaurants, like some restaurants will have 3 dishes.
A lot of
and that's their dishes.
the best
and
places.
they won't be able to change
Sorry,
things.
I'm like
No, go
talking
on.
over you.
It's okay. I think we're
getting
both kind
excited.
of like, oh God, it's been we went over time already. Oh my God, and we still have stuff to talk
know.
about. We're sorry.
No, I was gonna say like the best places that I've found for like stuff like that is like Indian restaurants. Like yeah, and I've gone to Japan with like people who are vegan, and I'll be honest, it was tough like because sometimes it would be like, okay, we're going to a family restaurant again because that's the only place that they were vegetarian. That's the only place that they could eat like the pizza or something like that. And a lot of things are made with, like even ramen. You might think you're safe with ramen. Always make sure that it's made with a broth that's not like, a pork broth.
Usually it's pork broth.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but there are places that exist. There are places that have like, specifically, chicken ramen, or if you can't eat pork, or there's places, some of those same places also offer vegetarian options. So it's unfortunately we probably aren't the best advice or people to give advice on for it. Yeah, but they do exist. It's just a little bit more difficult.
Now let's do a super rapid fire.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Because
I gotta go.
she has to go. But we listen. We're also over time. We didn't realize just how much we love to yap.
Well, this
we
is
love
why
you.
we're
We
gonna
can always
have
do a part two.
Yeah.
Yep. One of my tips for the subway system that actually struck me in the butt this time, if you get a Phasmo card or anything
Phasmo?
like that, Phasmo, it's a Phasmo, like Phasmophobia.
The spooky
if you get a
card.
Phasmo card, a spooky card, where you can kind of take the train with it and all that stuff, you have to load it with cash.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot just load it off of your foreign credit card or your foreign debit card. So you will have to go to either a 7-Eleven, usually that's where people go, and you will use your foreign. Actually, it works with Visa and debit, and you can just withdraw cash and then put it on your card.
You actually wrote Phasmo. Oh my God.
I always call it a Phasmo. I swear to God.
It's the Phasmo.
Like Kizuna AI.
And there's also the Suica Pass, but right now it's hard to get them. So good luck. Mm-hmm. Good luck, everybody else. Good luck, everybody else. No, they have a foreigner one that you can get at the airport. That is good for like a month, I believe. Mm-hmm. So if you don't want to buy the tickets every time, you can go get that. I thought you said this was rapid fire questions. What is this?
No, it's like rapid fire, like very basic do's and don'ts.
Oh, okay. Basic do's and don'ts. Don't.
I wrote them down if you want to read.
No loud talking. Mm-hmm. No eating and walking. I don't believe that. I think that's kind of like an old antiquated thing.
Okay, damn.
Well,
she hit me with that.
No, it's okay. Actually, it's good to bring it up because some people probably think it's like super duper strict, and like people are like, you cannot walk with a water bottle. People will frown on you, and it's just like,
no, that's fine. But I mean, people don't eat in like the subway.
Oh no,
people will not be eating a sandwich in the subway.
Yeah, but it says no eating and walking. So, but yeah, you're right. There's no eating on the subway. That's for sure.
Okay.
General respectfulness of personal space, because it's a lot of people in a tight space. Mm-hmm. Yeah, except when you're on the morning train.
But again, just be very respectful of other people's space. Try not to take up too much room. If you're going somewhere, don't put your bag on the seat next to you, because people will want to sit there.
Yeah.
And again,
for sure.
if you see a Japanese person do it, doesn't mean you should do it, because you'll always be judged a little bit harsher.
Be nice and give your seat to the elderly. Sometimes they give you money.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
For giving seat? Oh, that's probably because they thought you were a kid.
Sometimes a old lady will be like, oh, thank you so much. Here's 1,000 yen.
Okay. She for sure thought you were a kid.
No, it never happened to me. That's what my teacher told me.
Mm-hmm. The next one, I think we already talked about it. I do have one thing to say. This is a very extroverted thing, but maybe you've had friends that went to Japan. Ask them their recommendations, their spots, what they liked, what they didn't like. That's number one. Number two, this is for like my super extroverts.
Okay.
Ask your friends if they have any friends in Japan.
Oh.
Because my first time that I went in Japan, my best friend met a girl. She met a girl at New York Fashion Week who was in Japan. So my first time I went to Japan, her and I hung out.
Oh, God.
But she had never met me. She met my best friend in New York. Nope.
It's terrifying.
She took me to this amazing restaurant in like Tokyo, that like we had a view of Tokyo Tower. It was amazing.
Oh.
And I still kept up with her. I think I still probably have her on my socials somewhere.
Wow. That's so nice.
She was great.
Aww.
Yeah. But I'm aware this is very extroverted.
It is extremely extroverted. But we did kind of mention this. If you're traveling alone, if you want to meet people, like you said, the hostels, the Airbnb hosts, but also before you go, try and get on some apps like Hello Talk. I know some people that have like met a girl on there.
Oh.
Yeah, some people in my class were just like, oh yeah, I met my girlfriend through Hello Talk. And I'm like, what?
Ooh.
But, you can kind of make friends with some people on there and then maybe meet up once you go to Japan. So.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Love can bloom on the battlefield of Hello Talk.
My favorite
I wrote
battlefield.
down check out the hot springs or onsen. Popular activities, you could be at an arcade. There's claw machines. There's karaoke. You can have hanami, which is picnic by the water. Although hanami is usually like sightseeing the...
Hanami is a very specific activity, actually. It's only done during the cherry blossoms. But that doesn't...
Yeah, when you sightsee the cherry blossom. But a picnic by the water.
That's not going to stop you.
You can go to the temples.
Yeah, exactly.
And my big advice for when you're traveling in a big group, just very quickly. Let's say you're traveling in a big group and you tell everybody, hey guys, I want to go to the store at 11 a.m. And then the group is just taking a while. I know it's tough, but you just say, hey, no worries. I'm going to go do this thing, but I'll meet up with you guys later. I'll write in the group chat. If you just notice, and please take it from me, I have a friend, we went a few years ago on a trip with a lot of people. And on the last day, we did that. And she told me, she's like, Mata, I should have done this earlier. I've spent so much time waiting. Because you know how it is, right? You and your two friends want to do something. And then your third friend wakes up and they're like, I'm going to wash my hair. Can you wait for me? I'm going to shower. No, you'll meet us there. Don't be afraid to say, I'll meet you later. Text me when you're done. I'll see you in a bit. Have no fear. I know it's scary, but they will not be offended.
No.
And you don't want to ruin your own trip and start building resentment against your friends.
That's why I was saying, ditch your friends. Go do what you want.
Ditch your friends. Make some new friends.
Introvert time.
Make some new friends. Please let us know if you are going to Japan, what you're going to be doing there, where you want to go. And same thing, if you are watching this and you have maybe some good recommendations for restaurants, things to see, places to go, let us know. For us.
For us when we go together.
Then, next time, again, when we go together again. Well, no, last time we didn't go together. We were just there at the same time.
Yeah.